Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Glow Getters podcast or to my YouTube channel, wherever you're listening or watching. Wherever I have this posted, hello. Thanks for joining me. It's been a hot minute since I posted a video or had a podcast episode. It's already March 2022. There's so many reasons. And just the gist of it is hashtag pandemic life. We're still living it. We had sick family members and it was very hard to navigate, and my attention and energy had to go towards my family. Everyone's fine now, but it did come through our house. I never tested positive, and nor did my newborn, so thank you, universe and God, for that. So I did start back at work in January after my maternity leave, and that means my son is almost 5 months now, which to me is shocking. I delayed going back to work about a week because my daughter had COVID. And so we needed to sort of figure out what were we going to do at home? How were we going to adjust? The other interesting thing was we didn't have daycare for our son until the week after I was supposed to start back, or 2 weeks after my originally scheduled to go back to work date. And that was because he came a few weeks early. So the timing on everything was sort of odd, but then life has this funny way of allowing it to all work out. So in the end, it all worked out, and I eventually was able to go back to work. My son was able to go to daycare, and my daughter was healthy, and we all were able to try to move on. It doesn't come without scars, though. I feel like living in these times just feels like extra heavy, and it's traumatic, needless to say, but we keep moving forward. So I'm here. I took time and energy to devote to family, and then time and energy to devote to going back to my work. And, I came back to work, and it really felt like, in many ways, that I had come back and just reinserted myself into the same place I was at in October when I went out on leave. Because there were so many things that I had moving that just kind of stayed where they were at. And it felt like no progress had been made since October. And there were other things that moved forward fairly quickly that I felt like, okay, I have no control over what has been done. I have to accept it, move on, and figure out how to live in that new space. And so I'm not saying any of this is good or bad. It's just what it was and what it is. And it's always hard to just sort of readjust. And so I've been telling myself that I'm sort of in this transition time where I'm transitioning into mom of two who has a fairly visible job in a large healthcare organization and wants to do an awesome job. Mom who is a wife and wants to make sure that, she's present to love her husband and, give him attention and have him be able to give me attention when he wants to. And I'm feeling like I'm in a transition where it's like, I want to maintain the house, right? It's a partnership with my husband, with my partner, but two kids, more people, more mess, less time. It's hard. So I'm in a transition period. I'm also in a transition period where I'm adjusting to what does life look like in my work as I'm navigating, okay, how do we move forward? What are the new projects? How do I show up every day without sleep? What does it look like? And what do I want my future to be? So, back in December, I signed up for being part of the John Maxwell leadership team, which, if you don't know John Maxwell, go search him out there, but he's super well known in leadership. And I signed up to be a certified coach through his organization. And I really talked to my husband about this. I thought, I'm doing this work. I want to teach and I want to multiply my knowledge and add value to others and make sure that I'm adding value, and I want a little bit more structure around that. I want access to additional content from other leadership gurus. I want to be able to put that stamp on my page or, my resume that says I'm certified with a well-known name that people trust and know and like and appreciate. And so I decided to invest in myself. So fast forward, training to become a certified coach is happening today, and it happened yesterday, and it's happening tomorrow. It's a 3-day summit sort of leadership conference where I get access to all of these people, and at the end of it, certified. And then I also have access to an online platform of tons of leadership resources. So I get to add those to my repertoire besides my personal experience and get to use all that knowledge from the John Maxwell leadership team. And the cool thing is, yesterday during the opening day, they announced a rebrand, and they're now called the Maxwell Leadership. And so I will be a Maxwell Leadership certified team member, which is so cool because I decided to invest in myself in December, not knowing all the crazy, pandemic life things that were going to happen in January, not knowing how work was going to be when I came back to work. And fast forward, it's March and I'm being certified. So when I think of my life moving forward, I'm growing and I'm continuing to grow every day. And this investment in myself is something that's going to allow me to move into being more of a leadership speaker, move into being more of a leadership coach, and keep building on this foundation that I've started to establish here. So I so appreciate you being here for my leadership lessons. So I just want you to know there's more coming because I have way more content now and I'm super motivated and I'm loving to be surrounded by other like-minded people who just want to pour value into other people. So you can see behind me on my wall, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't, but imagine a wall of aqua Post-its behind me, my favorite color, all my branding is this color. I've been writing down quotes and different ideas that I'm getting from the conference, and I've been sticking them on my wall. So I pulled down 2 quotes for you today, 2 Post-its that I wanted to share with you. And the first one that I heard from somebody throughout the last 2 days is, a career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. And I just keep thinking about, what is my goal for the future? Where do I want to be? And there's this idea shared the last couple of days that nobody gets successful and climbs that really high, hard hill by accident. If you're going to grow, it's got to be intentional. And so if you think about your career versus your calling, hopefully you can find alignment there. But really, we should be looking for our calling. We should be working towards finding that thing that just lights us up, that just gets us fired, that helps us wake up in the morning and get excited about what we're doing. And I just enjoy every day of this conference, learning more about leadership and personal development, professional development, helping others find success in a way that works for them. Like, that makes me super overjoyed. And so I just love this quote, a career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. And the second quote that I pulled down is, dream a size bigger. So it's this idea that, okay, so today you're setting a goal, right? And you say, oh, I'm going to be here in 5 years. But then in 5 years, you're going to look back at that goal if you've been intentional about your growth and think like, that goal wasn't big enough. That goal was too small. So whatever you think your dream is, I just want to encourage you to take it a step further and say, well, what if? And up-level it, add to it. If it sounds crazy, that's probably a good thing. And I've said it on the podcast and on this channel before, meeting your goal isn't the goal. It's the journey to the goal. It's working towards something that matters. I would hate for you to meet an easy goal rather than to, miss a really, really big goal. Because in that situation, you're probably going to surpass that small goal and you're going to get super far, even if you didn't get that huge end all be all goal. So dream a size bigger. So anyway, I just wanted to put something out on the podcast, on the YouTube channel to say, hi, I'm here and I'm still working on my leadership journey and I'm still adjusting and transitioning to being this mom of 2 with an almost 5-month-old and a 3.5-month-old and a very important leadership position within a healthcare organization and growing and cultivating my own business. And so I hope this year, I know because I'm going to be intentional, this year you're going to see me figure out what that looks like, keep moving forward and showing you iterations of my life to, go towards and be living in my calling. And I want you to see that as an example for you, that you can strive for whatever it is that you want. And I want you to be hungry for it. I'm so hungry to have my own business, speaking, coaching, training, leading, outside of this other job that I have that's giving me these skills today. So I'm going towards that. I'm working towards that and soaking up everything that I can right now. So I hope to be back. I will intentionally be back with you soon with more information, with more leadership content. But today, take these with you. A career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. And dream a size bigger. All right, everyone, take care. I can't wait to share with you all the rest of the insights I've learned on these Post-it notes from the conference and everything else that I'm learning and can help you with on your leadership journey. If you have specific questions or want to ask me something about leadership, put them in the comments below. If you're on YouTube, if you are on the podcast, definitely leave a comment or rating or review, or send me a message on Instagram at Kayla Fahey Art, and let's have a conversation. So until next time, everybody, thank you and be a light.